Hey there, Heather Boyd Wire here, and today we're going to make some beautiful little chakra tree earrings. So I've had a lot of requests for these chakra tree earrings. I made them years ago for a friend of mine, Danielle. She had made a special request for them, and so I thought I'd do a tutorial for these today. And what I'm going to do is make them with copper wire. So I have this lovely brown copper wire. I have 18 gauge for the frame. This is the artistic copper wire. And then I have just this other random wire that I found. It's 22 gauge. So that's going to be for the tree part. And then we're going to use semi-precious stones. And so there's lots of information on the internet about what stones to use. So the ones I've chosen are clear quartz for the crown chakra. The third eye is going to be amethyst. Throat chakra, I'm doing like a sodalite, so blue stone for that is good. The heart chakra, I'm using a green stone, a aventurine, but you can also use a pink quartz if you like. For the solar plexus, I have, I'm going to use amber. They say to use yellow or gold for that, like a citrine. And for the sacral plexus, I'm going to use, this is sort of like a reddish stone, what kind of reddish orange, I guess. They say to use carnelian for that. And then for the root chakra, I'm using hematite, but you could also use red, black, or any gray stone. So I have some other tutorials on how to make the frame for a pendant or earring. This time I'm just going to measure it out on my ruler, so I'll just bend it at about 3 inches here, a nice right angle, and then I'm going to measure out, I think I'm going to make about 7/8 of an inch. So you guys can decide, you know, what size you want to do it. You can also make your own jig, either a temporary jig with pins on a piece of foam, or you could plant some nails into a piece of wood. I have some tutorials for making jigs as well that I'll link up below. So now I'm going to measure 1 3/8 of an inch, so just across here, and then this one too, about 1 3/8 of an inch. Works well just measuring it on the ruler. And then you want to just kind of eyeball what the center is going to be here and just like kind of bend it up on the center, remove the ruler, and then you want to wind this little end around. So I always like to help it first with my round pliers so it doesn't get distorted. So we're just going to go around here and just bring it right around there. And the 18 gauge is a little stiff, so it's a good idea to kind of help it out first with the pliers. And then we want to make a loop, and we're going to do it so it is parallel to the piece, so that way it's you can put your earring hook in there and it won't twist around. So we're just going to bring that around, and we want to bring this around to meet the other end, so it won't be too rough on the back. They're just going to meet each other here. That was another of my Tip Tuesday videos, how to like make a pendant like this so your ends just kind of fit together. It is a little trickier with the 18 gauge because it's quite stiff, but that's perfect. So here is our base, and then from there we're going to get our 22 gauge wire and measure a few pieces. We're going to do 3 pieces. You could choose how many pieces you want to do. You could do about 8 or 9 inches for the tree wires, and 22 gauge seems to work quite well. You might be able to get away also with 24 gauge. 20 gauge would be a little bit thick. So here we have our 3 pieces, and we'll take our frame and just add the pieces. So you kind of center them here and just wind this around through here. And yeah, sometimes I do more wires. Like if these were thinner, you might want to do maybe 4 or 5 wires, but 3 seems to work well for this design. And you could cut them a little longer if you want to have more swirls in your branches as well. There's a lot of little variations that you can do, and we're just going to get these 3 in to start here, And then we're going to add our stones. So this is your basic setup, and I don't twist them together until I get to the top. You could experiment with other ways to do it as well, but I just found that this way works quite well. So just take one of your middle pieces here, one of the wires that's close to the middle, and then you could put your beads on there. Well, they're not really beads, they're stones. They call them stone chips. Semi-precious stone chips, and at least that's what I call them. Let me know in the comments if you call them stone chips. There might be another name for them, but I usually buy these by the strand. We have some really beautiful stone shops in Montreal where I get them. I don't think I've ever ordered them online, so if you know of places to order online, you could also let me know about that, because some people might not be able to source these where they live. So here we have our chakra stones, and then what you want to do is just like tie it all together, right? So holding these wires behind, straighten them up if you have to. There you go. And we're just going to kind of push these right down to the bottom there, and then take this wire at the top of where the stone is, and bring it around, and then just give it a full turn around. Okay, so that's attached all the wires together, so they're nice and secure. And then from there, we could split the wires a bit. So we're going to just split them up a bit, just move them around, split them up. So those are going to form the branches. And then what I do with these at the bottom, I'm going to flip it around, and this part you can adjust later as well. Don't worry too much about it. And I just give it a little like bend, like a little kind of flick of the wrist here. Just it pushes these wires out more to make them more like the roots, okay? And that's just temporary. We're going to go back to that after, and we'll bring this back. And then now what we want to do is kind of follow more or less what we did on the other side. But what I did first was, I'm just going to separate these. So I just twisted some of the branches together. So we'll take this, do a little twist, two or three, I guess, however many you want. And then I didn't make them all completely even, and so I gotta leave this one without twisting it, and then I'll twist these two here. It's just nice to have a little bit of asymmetry. It's nice when things aren't like completely perfect on the both sides. So now we have what is the beginning of the tree, and then you could just go to town and do your spirals. So this is where you can get creative. You can just twist them around and to make the spirals, and you can just adjust them a little bit. If you want to move them out a little bit, you kind of unroll them, and it just takes a little bit of practice to play around with them. And these are probably not going to be at all like the same on both sides, but really it doesn't matter. You just want to kind of use what wire you have. It's not going to be exactly the same on both sides, but it's going to be nice if they're a little bit different as well, so that's no problem at all. So then you're going to twist, once you do the spiral, you're just going to bring it to the side and twist it around, and then you can just give it a little pinch here. And then you're just going to go around and do all your little twisty things. It's kind of like those little chaos beads that I've done in previous videos, and just make it look fancy and nice, and make it look a little bit abstract too, which is always good when it's not like super tight and super perfect. So we'll just go ahead, and then like those, I just did a single spiral on each one, but if you want to, because you have more space here, we can just maybe do 2 spirals. So we're going to go around that way a couple of times, and then we'll do like almost like an S thing, and let's go around the other way. And the idea is to sort of fill up the space what you have there with the spirals. So that looks super cute. You can go around like that, and then after you'll be able to kind of sculpt them so they're in the right position as well. Now if your end is short and you need help to wind it through, then you get your pliers and you can just help it out, wind it through, and then we'll just clip the ends. And you see they go quite quickly. It's really a fun design. And then we're going to bring this one up here. I'm not really even comparing it with my other side because it doesn't have to be the same. So we're just going to play around with it. Whatever feels right, you can go with your intuition. So we're just going to bring that one again around, and then we only have 2 left. For the first sample I made, I actually cut the wires a little shorter. I cut them about 8 inches, but this time I cut them about 9 inches, and it's kind of nicer because you have a little bit more leeway to go for the spirals and stuff. So I always say it's better to cut things a little too long than too short, because that way you have a little bit more flexibility with what you do, and you don't have to, you know, be restricted by not enough wire. Although you can always add wires. So there we go. It looks super cute. And we're just going to wind the last wire around. And then you can go in for sure after and pinch all those end-ins with the flat pliers. I'm not going to worry too much about it for now. So now we're going to bring this one back over here and just kind of get it straightened up and stuff. And now what you could also do is go into the back, which I did before, and if you want to just give these a little bit more kind of texture and movement, it would be good, because otherwise they're, I mean, you're not going to see the back, but it just makes it a little more fancy if you kind of give these a few little twists and turns. That's kind of cool. And then the other thing I like to do, we'll just get these in the right place. If you, this you're going to have to be super careful. You don't want to break your stones, but you could just very gently kind of give it a little like flick of the wrist like that, and it just gives it a little bit more curve in the trunk of the tree, which is really cool. So there you have that one. We're going to put a hook on it. Open it up. These are just like little brass hook things. I don't know where I got them. They're a nice color. They're like a brown metal, but I'm sure if you have sensitive ears, they're probably not very good for your ears. I actually don't wear earrings, believe it or not, because my ears are terribly sensitive. So I focus on wearing nice necklaces and stuff. So there we have it. We have one here, and you see there might be slight variations. This one, these seem to be a little lower, so you can adjust them how you like. And there are beautiful little chakra trees. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your wire creations, be sure to join the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to check out my wire work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wedding cake toppers and funky jewelry. And I also have a mailing list, so if you'd like to join the mailing list, I will send you my free Wire Art Essentials ebook. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.